Here we go again. Year after year after year of Conservative-led governments. And when it comes to election time, they bring out highly polished, articulate, excellent communicators who tell us how they're going to increase budgets for policing, how they are the party of law and order, how they're the party of security and defence. And yet, during their watch, the numbers fall, the spending falls. Only at election time do we get these superbly erudite statements about how committed they are to security. Quite frankly, the proof is in the pudding. And year after year, we've seen cut after cut after cut to defence, to security, to policing. And it's not good enough to keep paying lip service. You're going to hear this all night long. We've got a superb communicator for the Conservative Party here tonight. He's going to say all the right words. Unfortunately, they're not necessarily in the right order. And the problem that we're going to have is that this is just lip service. The Tories have shown they do not care about security, defence and policing because they've cut the budgets to the bone. The point of the matter is whoever's the Prime Minister at the end of this process, it's in the national interest that they do well. But I think we started off with a Prime Minister who was supposedly strong and stable. As it goes on, she's increasingly weak and wobbly. And the point we have here is that Mrs May is talking a good game. It's like the earlier point that I made. It's talk, it's presentation, it's spin. But really, as this campaign goes on, do you really see Theresa May pushing through a clean, proper Brexit, the thing that was voted for? I don't. I don't believe what she's saying. I think she's saying it because it plays well to the audience right now. At the end of the day, you have to be able to trust someone who's in that position. There are so many occasions of her backtracking and going back on what she said already, just in a few weeks of a campaign. Really? When she goes to Brussels, let me tell you, I know some of these guys she's negotiating with. They're no softies, and they're watching this, and they'll know. Well, I was a hospital governor for 3 years, and the reason why I resigned from that was because the hospital car parking fees were being put up without any democratic vote of the governors. And of course, where do they go? Like so much else, into the PFI projects. The whole thing with the NHS is that successive governments have allowed PFI to get involved, and they are creaming off profits. The only thing that is worse than a public monopoly is a private monopoly. Now, when you come back to this issue about raising income tax, it's always the first thing that the traditional parties say, let's take more tax, let's take more money off hard-working people. Well, our party has put forward a plan that puts £11 billion a year more into the NHS and social care without raising income tax, and it's a fully costed manifesto. It's simply a case of you look where you spend your money and you look what you spend it on. At the end of the day, we don't need to keep raising tax all the time. We're already taxed enough already. This country has a massive burden of taxation on people. You look at your pay packet at the end of the month, there's plenty gone out of that. Government has to make tough decisions, prioritise. We can commit £11 billion a year more to that. Why can't they? It's the same answer all the time. Words at the time of an election, promises at the time of an election, and then what happens? They actually get record numbers of people entering the country. If you're going to make a promise, at least do something you at least have some intention of following through. Mrs May was the Home Secretary at the time when immigration hit record numbers to our country. Quite simply, this is another example of the lady not telling us the truth.
How would the black country economy fare with your one-in, one-out policy? That would slow the economy down, wouldn't it?
Well, that's over a phased-in period of 5 years. The Australian-style point system that we put forward, I think, is broadly
But what would it do
recognised.
to the economy, there?
Well, we believe that immigration is required. Of course it's required. You need to get people coming in to help the economy. It's simply a case of making sure that the people who come bring the required benefits, skills, and something to contribute to the country. Look, without people coming in, we'd be in a sorry state. But on the other hand, if you've got people filling low-skilled jobs that young people would be doing to start off with, just like I did when I was a young man stacking crates in a factory, if those jobs are taken, where do our young people start? And there's a record number of youth unemployment in this country. Why? Because there's nowhere to start from. And frankly, the numbers of people coming in from the EU, nothing whatsoever against those people. I don't blame them one little bit. I'd be coming as well. But the point is the government has a responsibility to all of us to properly manage immigration, and Mrs May has totally let us down.